Ladies and gentlemen, joining us now for the first time ever, the 45th and 47th President of the United States of America, Donald J. Trump.
Yeah, so it's Veterans Day here in America, and our president decided to honor the troops. Honor himself by going on a call-in sports show, because why not? But seriously, why would he do that?
Mr. President.
Hello, Pat. Hi, Pat.
So most people would think with our show that this would be an impressionist of the president because no president would actually join us. But on this Veterans Day, we want to say, Mr. President, thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thank you. And I'm only joining you because I hear you say such nice things about me from your very large audience. I've always heard you've said such nice things. So when people say nice about me, I join. When they don't say nice about me, I take a pass.
Ah, yes. Trump loves people that love him. So he went on the Pat McAfee show so he could, field some real serious political questions.
To that, Mr. President, obviously you look around the NFL, there's a lot of great leaders that are coaches. Have you ever looked and thought, like, one of these guys, who would be a great president for the United States of America? We got Dan Campbell, we got Mike Vrabel, we got Matt LaFleur last night. You ever think of these guys?
Nobody's saying him.
Who could possibly be a great president?
And by the way,
Yeah, now I have often said that there's no such thing as a dumb question. I would like to officially retract that statement because that is a pretty dumb question. But the best part is Trump's answer, because he answers a question that wasn't asked.
you see strategy. I've often said we go out and we get the best 4 or 5 coaches, put them in a room if you go into war, and you use them as because they do it. Ultimately, it's all about strategy. It's about attack. It's about, what angle. Give me the angle of attack. I'll bet you some of these coaches would make great warring generals.
Yeah, some of these coaches would make great warring generals, apparently. And as you can see from some of these online comments, nobody seems to agree with that. I am very sure that if you asked any of the NFL coaches, they would also agree with that these are completely different skill sets, and it's honestly a tad offensive to anyone in the military to say otherwise, especially on Veterans Day. The only thing that could make this little chat more offensive would be if Trump could somehow figure out how to slip a little racism in there.
It was a little bit of a blowout game, in all fairness, with the Commanders as opposed to the Redskins. What happened to the Redskins, by the way? But it was the game wasn't the greatest game, but those two guys we had a good talk.
Yes, much like the racist Confederate statues that Trump just can't seem to let go of, he really wants to make racism great again and bring back the name Redskins. Because, fuck anybody who's not white, right? And maybe that's why Trump got this warm reception at the game the other day.
Please raise your right hands. I, and state your name, do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
Yeah, and of course, during that game, Trump inspired both mockery and some outright American-on-American violence, as you will see here.
Goff on the slant to St. Brown. He is in for a Lions touchdown.
A few moments later.
Ross St. Brown is walking, and then he just bam, and then he just bam.
Yeah, and also today, on Veterans Day, Trump managed to offend half the country by saying this at a speech that at least was not on a call-in sports show.
From now on, when we fight a war, we only fight for one reason, to win. We fight to...
Did you... What, did we ever fight a war not to win? I mean,
I was going to say, that's a new thing? We fought wars to lose them before, huh? Okay.
To win. As you know, today is not only Veterans Day, but it's my proclamation that we are now going to be saying and calling Victory Day for World War I. Victory Day. I was recently at an event and I saw France was celebrating Victory Day, but we didn't. And I saw France was celebrating another Victory Day for World War II.
No, you didn't.
And other countries were celebrating. They were all celebrating. We're the one that won the wars. And they said, from now on, we're going to say Victory Day for World War I and World War II.
Good, dude.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Really doing
First of all,
important work.
we would not have a country if France didn't help us out during the Revolutionary War. So there is that.
Yes.
But again, these are allies. Like, we did not win any of the world wars all by ourselves. And there are also veterans that didn't survive some of these things. There are veterans of wars we didn't win, like Vietnam. Like, it's not Victory Day, you asshole. It's supposed to honor anyone who is a veteran, including veterans that never fought in a war.
Yes, dude. 100% spot on, Steve. And, you know, it's called World War for a reason. Like, it's not just us. You're such a moron. When he starts to rename shit, it kills me, dude. And I think to myself, like, oh, there's people eating this shit up. And this is proof of that right here.
We in the Gulf of America, baby. Woohoo! Ain't it pretty?
Oh, yeah, it's purdy.
Ain't it purdy? Gulf of America. Yes, as we've talked about, he wants to rebrand everything, put his stamp on everything. He wants to take over countries, rename stuff, have his name on stadiums and monuments and the Arc de Trump, and just take a dump all over military people that he was never one of.
Yeah.
But now that he's the commander in chief, like, he wants to play with all this stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it can't just be Veterans Day. No, it's got to be Victory Day, because everything has to be some sort of triumph for him.
Yes, 100%.
Nauseating.
You know, my wife's a veteran, and, you know, as she was leaving for work this morning, I was like, happy Veterans Day, you know, and we just were talking for a minute, and it made me think back, like, at the Dave Matthews concert over the summer. She wore one of her T-shirts were just Veterans Against Trump is what it said. Because believe it or not, not all veterans love this idiot.
Right.
But I was surprised how many people made a comment on it. You know, like, that's not a very true veteran, you know, to be against Trump. Like, you know what? That's the truest of all veterans, is to practice dissent and free speech and you know, to speak out against this asshole. So
you're defending that American freedom, you know?
Yes.
Like this guy, Donald here says, as a vet on Veterans Day, fuck that pasty draft dodging fascist Captain Ankle Spurs useless a-hole.
Well done. Well done.
Yes, and with that, I'm just going to wish a happy Veterans Day to all the troops, regardless of your rank, gender, ethnicity, or sexual preference, because you're all more of a hero than President Bone Spurs will ever be. So thank you for your service. For everyone else, please like this video, comment below, and get vocal. From the Vocal Minority with Nick and Steve podcast, I'm Steve Harness for Really American Media.